coming to you straight off the hip. Car Chronicles. Another episode. Another episode. Car Chronicles. I'm just gonna just come off just saying this. Yesterday was the funniest shit I ever saw. Druski, Atlanta native. He's from Atlanta. Famous Instagram slash social media comedian. He has millions of followers. Did one of the funniest skits of the year, and the skit he just went viral again was the skit of him mocking mega church pastors. And I'm just gonna say this now, for some of those people who know me, I have grew up in the church environment. I have two parents that are both preachers. No, I will never be a preacher. I don't want that type of stress in my life being a preacher. But what Druski is doing, he's not. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm gonna say. And I know some people might not agree with me, and they're gonna disagree. Druski is not mocking God. He's not playing with God. He's not mocking. He's mocking the pastors who be playing in people's faces. Now, it's a lot of mega church pastors that do a lot of fuckery in their church services. Like the stuff you see in his skit, go and watch some of those live broadcasts of those mega churches. They do a lot of the fuckery there in their church services. And it's kind of funny because Druski is pointing out what he sees on TV. He's pointing out what he sees on the internet and on TV. Some of the crazy stuff that pastors doing, they repelling from the roof, from the ceiling, and trying to act like they're Jesus, and then you see the pastors all dripped out in Gucci, Louis, and Prada, and then some of the crazy stuff they say in their pulpit. You got one pastor getting his haircut during the sermon, another pastor burning the Bible, then you got one pastor hitting flips, and then you got one pastor got a car on the stage while he preaching, and you got another pastor saying some craziness. It's a lot of just coonery and fuckery in the church. So I can't get mad at Drewski. Like and I don't think he's not mocking the whole church, the whole black church. He's mocking the goofy ass pastors that be doing the fuckery in their church services. And let's be real. And I know some people might not like what I say, but he just pointed out what he see on TV. It's he just pointed it out. Now there are some good church pastors that actually is trying to do the right thing. And those are the ones you're not going to see on TV. The ones you do see on TV, those are the ones that do all the fuckery all the time. I'm gonna be real. Not every church is a church that's corrupted and full of hell and all of that. There are some good churches out in the world that really care about people. Now I've been to a couple of those churches. I know one church I used to go to back in my home city in Milwaukee, where the church we had a homeless ministry, and where we took homeless people off the street. We give them jobs. We fed them every Sunday. We donate clothes to them. We get them editing. We give them etiquette classes. We teach them how to build a resume, all of that, and then and then we put them in rehab. That was the church I've been to. They did that for years. And then a lot of those homeless people became members of the church. Some of them became businessmen. Some of them became pastors from there. So it's some good churches that actually go back out to the community and reach back and get people in the community. You know, not every church is greedy and it's all about money. But I will say this: when a pastor, and the reason why I'm saying this because my daddy was a pastor of a church, but my daddy was not a corrupt pastor. I will say that he was never corrupted. So when you run a church, it's like a business. Running a church is like a business. You have to have you got to have offering. You got to raise offering to pay for the bills, the lights, the mortgage, all of that. Nothing is free when you have a church, and especially if a pastor want to do events and bring guest preachers, they got to pay the guest preachers, or if they want to do events where they got to bring a gospel artist in, they got to pay gospel artists. There's been stories where other church pastors have paid gospel artists five, tens of thousands of dollars for them to perform. And there's been times I heard stories where other pastors had paid guest preachers $10,000 just to preach a sermon. So, having a church ministry costs, but not every church is corrupted. Now, the mega churches, I'm just going to say this, only 1% of churches in America are mega churches. That's why and I always tell my wife this, the mega churches, the pastors who have the mega churches, and here's the thing, the definition of a mega church is if it's a church, if you have more than 1,000 members. If you have a church that has more than 1,000 members, that's considered a mega church. That's what a mega church is. Any church that have 1,000 members or more, that's considered a mega church. Only 1% of black churches have mega churches. So when you see all the top mega churches in America, it's just a handful of them. It's millions of churches in America. So it's just a handful of them. Not, you know, it's not every church does the same coonery and shucking and driving. But what overall I'm gonna say, the stuff Druski did on the internet last night was pretty comical. And I don't care what people say. And it's funny. It was funny. He's he just doing what he sees on TV. Because if and here's the funny thing, I don't know why people get mad at Druski, but look at all the black TV shows that did segments of church pastors. Let's go back and watch Martin. Remember David Allen Greer was on Martin, and he played that pastor named Reverend Leon Love, and then Gina was calling him Reverend Leon Lust. Remember that? And where David Allen Greer was moonwalking and he was cabbage patching and all in the church. People thought that was funny. That's the same shit Druski was doing. Black folks, we need to stop pick and choosing to get mad at certain people. Because if you want to get mad at every actor that did skits on a black church, in Mad TV, in Saturday Night Live, on the Martin Show, on any sketch television show, on YouTube, or on other TV shows. Get mad at all of those people. Don't just get mad at Druski. That's all I gotta say. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think. This your boy Mitch TV, and I am out.